Welcome to Bastard Quest. I'm the Game Master Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.
We are playing Blades in the Dark, a cool RPG by John Harper.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the song by Sade.
I would never be talking about a song by whoever that is. Austin, who are you playing in this game?
Well, I'm the lurker named Moonlight Mitchum.
Corey?
I'm playing Roddy Woodthorpe. Toebean. Welcome, kids.
You said that like we have a laugh track or an audience.
Who are those people? Oh, my madness.
We should do an episode where Corey edits in an actual laugh track.
Yeah, like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Todd, who are you playing?
I am Uwe, the Whisper. However, that is just a name, and what are names but identifying labels placed upon us by our mothers against our will?
Fucking bitch. God damn it, you just conjured some emotions.
Corey had some stuff buried.
Oh.
It's more like a shallow grave.
Everybody spells it wrong. Fucking E. Worst letter.
And you are a gang of assassins in the haunted, demon-fueled city of Duskfall in a post-apocalyptic, dystopian, Victorian era, not London.
Yeah, and that's it. There's nothing to do with whale blood and ghosts. And
Summarizing. I'm summarizing.
okay. Yeah, this is episode 2, so please go back if you haven't heard
Oh,
the
like
first.
episode 1 laid it all out for
A
us.
little bit.
It's a complex world in Blades in the Dark. There's a lot going on.
Right.
Watch a YouTube video
Yeah.
and come back.
We
like-
haven't even met the Pearmen.
Nope. Nope, we haven't. Haven't even met the Pearmen
Corey
yet.
fucking hates them.
Get out of here. This show is so fucking stupid. Why?
We have a lot of fun here on Bastard Quest.
Okay, that's true.
You have been following Rasmus, a diplomat that you're trying to assassinate, murderize.
The Pearmen are like this dumb green grimace. That's how they come at you.
See, that's the difference in how we visualize things. I was picturing like somebody with like pear heads. You're picturing like gigantic sentient pears.
They're made of pear.
Yes.
I thought of grocers selling pears.
You know what? Now I hate them.
Yeah.
I'm John Pearman, and when I started Moltz's Furniture...
All right, let's get back to Deadlands.
Please do not include Pearmen
I won't. I wouldn't do that to you. That's your line.
until we play the VeggieTales RPG.
They would send us a cease and desist. They would.
We'd get it directly from Christ.
Oh my God! If we play Marvel again, I'm going to be Bible man.
Oh, Jesus.
Willie Ames would fuck you up.
Corey, you're right. This show is stupid.
I don't like it.
Okay. Rasmus, your target, has just passed through a military checkpoint to get onto a very long bridge to cross from the hub of the city to White Crown, an island just off the coast where all the rich and powerful people live. You have a poor reputation on White Crown, and you suspect you might have some trouble getting past the military checkpoint. In fact, you know you will. Even people in high standing that don't live in White Crown have difficulty getting into it.
All right, so the lay of the land is Mitchum, myself, is still up on the rooftops looking out over. Uwe has yet to reveal his position at all, and Toebean is... it's charming. Toebean is following and coming up on the bridge right now, correct?
That's right.
All right. Is there any possible way to communicate with each other from a distance in this world? We don't have the technology for like earwigs, right?
No, you could shout. You could hand signal.
Okay.
You could have made some sort of crude communication device with a tin can and a string,
All right.
like street children.
Just making sure. I think we can work around that. So, do you guys, first of all, have any real-time ideas for getting around it? Because I have a flashback in mind for solving this problem, but I won't do it yet until we hear from y'all.
I do, because we're in good with the gondoliers of this city.
You are. That's true.
Yeah. I would imagine we would have already been in contact with them. If we're assassins, we planned out this assassination fairly well, I would imagine.
Yes, one of the conceits of Blades in the Dark is that even though we as humans have no idea how this score is going to work, and we haven't figured out what your plan is, we assume your characters are competent, good assassins, and they know what they're doing.
Okay.
We're the players, but we're also the audience watching it unfold. So in terms of Austin's question, do you have a way to communicate? Like, you don't need to have your characters communicate. You guys can communicate as players, and then we'll just assume your characters talked about this previously.
Right.
Okay.
Because we're badass.
Because you're badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you want to set up something like setting up like there's a gondolier waiting for us, that would need to be a game mechanic specifically called a flashback.
Okay.
Flashback, we haven't talked about this yet. A flashback is basically a break in the action where any one of us can, at any time, basically narrate how we were unusually prepared for this particular turn of events.
Yeah.
And that can involve other characters. It can involve us as players collaborating. But how far-fetched the flashback is what determines how much stress it puts on us. So in the same way that we can push ourselves to get bonus die for actions, we can also add stress in order to basically flash back to a time when we were unusually proactive.
Stress basically being hit points in this game.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'd like to flash back to when my mother was naming me.
Okay. Toebean.
No, that's his name he chose for himself.
Oh.
To get rid of Roddy Woodthorpe.
Okay. Well, then since either one is going to have to flash back to make it happen, we can just pick. So my idea was that as one of his shady friends, Mitchum has Rosalind Kellis, who is a noble. And my thought was that we would just have, as a contingency, plan to have her wait at the bridge in case we had to get into the island somehow.
Okay, does it specify what kind of noble she is and where she has her money and all that stuff? Because we could say she's a noble who runs the water taxis of the city.
It does not.
So we could do something like that. Like, we've already contacted her, like, have a gondolier every 10 feet.
I'm saying if we manage to have a contact from White Crown waiting for us on the bridge, we don't have to circumnavigate the bridge at all.
Oh, okay.
We could have her escort us across.
Okay.
I also like the gondolier's idea because that's a way to remain stealthy the entire time instead of having people seeing us get onto the island. So, Kyle, I am all for leaving it up to you, basically telling us which one would cost us more stress, and then we might make the decision that way.
Probably the gondolier. I would charge you 1 stress for the gondoliers because you have a positive relationship for them.
Okay.
And 2 for Rosalind. And the reason being is the gondoliers will get you to the island, but you're still not there officially, so that could cause problems. If Rosalind gets you onto White Crown, you're essentially would be able to move around relatively freely, obviously as long as you don't break into somebody's house or something. Whereas the gondoliers, you're not there in any official capacity. If you get stopped by bluecoats, you're going to have an issue.
Right.
Okay.
So can we also say that the gondoliers will refrain from singing the whole way over loudly?
They will, but that costs 7 stress.
Here we come to kill, sneaking across the bay.
Italia!
Italy.
Yeah, sorry, my boy.
All right. So I'm fine using the gondoliers just because that will cost less stress. I'm fine not being there officially and having to remain undercover the entire time.
Okay.
I agree because one thing about Uwe, his look, he has the eyes wide shut mask and the visage of Empty Nest lead Richard Mulligan. So he looks like a rich sex freak anyway. So I think he blends in perfectly with the society.
Ah, I see.
That's what I was thinking.
Kyle thinks you should go out in public and try it.
Corey, so you're going to spend a stress with the gondoliers, right?
I guess I have to.
Okay. So you spend a stress, and then you narrate a short scene of how you make sure the gondoliers are going to be there. Just it doesn't have to be much, but
Okay. So earlier that day, Roddy Woodthorpe and his gondolier pals,
What's their names?
Chico, Neek, and Philmon,
okay.
What the ever-loving fuck?
none of those are Patreon members. Apologies. But we have a side gig as a barbershop quartet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But the kind that floats.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You have a little bar, a little raft more.
Glad I
Sure.
haven't taken a drink of my beer yet.
And there's a barge next to us where you can get your hair cut.
Yeah, that's a given.
Yeah.
They cut the hair into the water.
to attract the whales.
Right.
Yeah.
And basically, Roddy just kind of tells them, like, send word to your boys. We might need to get across water areas tonight.
Yeah, so we see Rasmus. He's walking across this long bridge to White Crown, and like the camera's coming from the north, and we see Rasmus, and then it passes over the bridge, and in the channel is a gondolier with Toebean and Mitchum on it. We still don't know where Uwe is. So you guys get onto White Crown, and the camera takes us to this wide boulevard, lots of trees, and trees are very rare in Duskwall because of the lack of the sun. So these must be painstakingly manicured and tended to and grown with electroplasmic lights. And Rasmus is walking down a street in like the entourage of some noble. He's at the end of it, and you guys are kind of watching him from the shadows. What's your next part of your plan?
Thanks for the ride, Nick. Don't forget, we need to work on the new Radicals Get What You Give for the next gig.
The gondolier nods and sings a few bars as he drifts off into the channel.
got the music in you!
Waiting for it.
So Toebean and Moonlight start slinking up the shore when suddenly our position is given away by the gondolier backing out. Beep, beep.
Yeah, that's a new
God
regulation.
No, so the two of us are sneaking back up the shore trailing Rasmus to find the perfect location to commit the murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're basically following at a distance, probably walking alongside him around the perimeter of the island.
As his journey progresses, you can see that the group that he's kind of following behind, join a larger crowd, and there is some sort of gala at one of the palatial estates. Fireworks start popping in the sky. You can hear a band playing somewhere. This is a Great Gatsby style extravaganza, not uncommon among White Crown, among the rich and powerful. And Rasmus is filtering into that crowd. Lots of people are. Lots of costumes, lots of masks.
All right, that looks like quite a celebrating over there, Toebean. What do you think they're doing?
Well, it's Arbor Day, isn't it?
Aye, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, they're celebrating the plants and such.
Maybe the rich uns care more about that than we do.
You do see a large banner that says, "Welcome to Arbor Day." Have you fucked a tree lately?
Aye, those trees look good for climbing.
All right, go ahead and scurry on up there.
I think I may use one to get back up on the buildings and keep an eye down from above.
So Toebean's still in his fine clothes and jewelry. I think he could
Yeah.
probably walk into this.
Absolutely. He could
Yeah.
absolutely try, yeah.
Yeah, with his raggedy clothes, Mitchum is not going to blend in. So, yeah, I'm going to prowl the rooftops once more.
So, Corey, what action are you using to slip into this giant party?
Well, I guess I would use finesse in this situation. Just kind of slip my way in there.
Finesse could potentially work. I think sway is a good contender.
Okay. Just kind of walk in like you own the place. Like,
Yeah.
oh, hello. Glad to be back here at Rich Man's house.
Yeah. Half of bluffing is acting like you're supposed to be there.
Okay. Toebean has a 2 in sway.
So the engagement roll to begin a score essentially sets the difficulty until something changes. This is going to be a risky action at standard effect. You're not particularly advantaged or disadvantaged here.
Okay. So I'm just rolling my 2 die with my sway.
Yep. There's also up to 2 or 3 other things you can do on a roll. You could spend 2 stress and push yourself and get another die. You could get assistance from a teammate. They would have to spend stress, but you'd get another die. The other thing you can do is you can take a devil's bargain. And a devil's bargain is there's some cost related to it that doesn't necessarily impact the current scene, but it could cause problems down the road. Or maybe you lose an item or it costs you something. And essentially you say, the way you get that is like, hey, what's a devil's bargain here? And I, as a GM, could give you like, well, if you want another die, X, Y, and Z will occur.
Okay. I'm just going to roll my 2 die, I think.
Yeah, that's fine.
Got a 6.
Okay. So 6 is success. There's no penalties. You mingle into the crowd of revelers and disappear amidst the pageantry and the glitter you keep your eye on Rasmus. None of the military constabulary positioned around at the entrances or just mingling through the crowd give you a second glance. You look exactly like you belong there.
Okay. So this party is pretty tightly packed full of people, right?
There are hundreds of people here.
Okay. So I'm going to say Toebean slowly starts making his way. He grabs a champagne off a tray from a waiter,
Yeah.
sipping on that as he's slowly making his way closer and closer to Rasmus in the middle of the crowd.
Sure.
And yeah, my plan was to kind of prowl the rooftops above to get a vantage point to see, this is a decadent party. There's going
Yes.
to be lavish decorations that are probably very heavy, and fireworks you already said are going off.
Yep.
And this is, a world with enchanted whale blood and shit. I'm sure the fireworks are pretty gnarly. So, Corey, what are you thinking?
Well, can we say the fireworks are coming from the rooftops?
Sure, somebody would probably need to get up there and survey that
Right.
to ascertain where exactly they're coming from.
Well, that's where Moonlight is already headed.
He could prowl around up there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've got 2 prowl, if that gets me up on the rooftops.
Well, it entirely depends on the result of that roll.
Okay. All right, so then I'm going to use prowl, and I have some light climbing gear that I'm going to check off of my load,
Okay.
and I think that gives me just 1 more.
Not necessarily. Usually, equipment enables something or makes it easier. One good example is you might have reduced effect if you don't have the right tools.
Oh, okay.
So in this case, I'm going to say climbing gear is going to push you from standard effect to great effect,
Okay.
meaning it's essentially going to give you some leeway if you screw up really bad.
All right, so then I'm just going to roll these 2 for now. I rolled 2 1s.
Okay.
Okay. Austin dies.
So, Kyle, how do re-rolls function?
Well, I'm glad you asked. There aren't any.
Shit.
So there's going to be consequences to you failing this roll. But you can always, in this game, choose to resist the consequences. And that can be more or less expensive in terms of stress, depending on what happens.
Okay.
So what I'm going to say here is that Mitchum is using his climbing gear. He's scaling up the side of this brickwork. And he climbs onto this small balcony. It's just like a semicircle balcony outside of a window. And the moment he gets on that balcony, he sees someone just on the other side, silhouetted by the interior light. And he can tell that it's a man with a gun coming out on this balcony, probably a soldier.
Or just a disgruntled firework operator.
Could be.
I mean, they're a dime a dozen.
So Mitchum tilts backward, like over the balcony railing, and is gripping, flips out of sight and is gripping the bottom of this balcony just by his fingertips as this guard steps out of the balcony and looks around. He's in a desperate situation.
Okay.
His climbing gear tumbles down to the ground below him, but he is not yet discovered. Now, if you wished, you could attempt to resist this consequence.
Aye, bollocks. So yeah, how can I resist here? I assume I have to make another action.
No, a resist is you roll prowess, resolve, or insight.
Okay, for this I'm going to use prowess. I have 3 in that.
No, I tell you which one you roll. You don't get to pick. And then you roll the dice. The default cost is 6 stress. Your highest die reduces that amount. So if you rolled all ones, this would cost you 5 stress to resist the consequences.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying sometimes it is better to not resist the consequences.
Okay. Is this an instance where I could push myself?
You can't push yourself now. You have to do it before the roll. I would let you try to resist this consequence with prowess.
Okay.
To elaborate, if you end up in a desperate situation, that doesn't mean that like you're caught. Like that just means your next roll would be desperate.
It has to be good, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so then I'm rolling prowess. Now, am I going for any specific effect here off the bat? Like, am I trying to make some athletic feat to make sure I'm not discovered while getting back in a good position, or...
Well, that's the way we would color it.
Okay.
Once you choose
But it
to
just
make
depends on the roll.
the resistance roll, you undo what happened,
Okay.
essentially. We're just rolling to see how much stress it costs you.
Okay, gotcha.
And if you roll a 6, it doesn't cost you anything.
Okay, all right, so then I'm rolling prowess with 3 dice. I rolled 2 6s and a 5.
2 6s on a resistance roll is a critical success, so you actually reduce your stress by 1.
Oh, wow, okay, cool.
Yeah. So he expertly flips off that balcony, scampers up elsewhere, retrieves his climbing gear, and can survey the rooftops of this palace for the fireworks locale.
All right, boys, I'm up here now. I got no survey, but I'm going to take a look around and see if I can find where these fireworks are coming from.
I can't hear you down here.
Yeah, I'm really just talking to myself.
So since you have no survey, you'd have to roll 2 dice and take the lowest. So this is a good situation for either pushing yourself or taking a devil's bargain, or perhaps both.
Yeah, I'll push myself.
Okay, so that's 2 stress.
Yep, I've got it to spare.
So that gives you 1 die.
Okay. That's a 5.
Okay, so that's mixed success.
So Mitchum swings up onto the rooftop, leaps over a couple of chasms. He's kind of keeping an eye on the party as he walks around, clocks Toebean as he threads his way through the crowd, and scans the top of the rooftops looking for kind of the central source of the fireworks.
You see a guy with a firework Gatling cannon
Yeah.
just cackling wildly like the fucking bullet farmer from Mad Max.
Just firing blindfolded into the air.
There's a flat part of the roof, some sort of platform that they've built, and there's a trio of men lighting fireworks. You watch as one just zips into the air.
One of the men?
Yep.
Wow.
The Rocketeer.
It was a misplaced firework.
This is Acme on it.
Hooked to his belt.
Yeah, he's almost certainly dead now. No, firework zips into the air. This brilliant explosion of light illuminates the whole rooftop.
You see 2 hobbits hiding in a
I
tent.
was about to. I'm sorry, this is your idea.
It is in the ground.
You're figuring out how you're going to make your move, and then you notice just in the corner of your eye, you see the illuminated tip of a cigarette on the eave of a roof nearby, and it's a soldier smoking while he basically watches over this with a gun on his lap. Anything that would happen on the fireworks platform is in clear view of this heavily armed and no doubt well-trained man.
In reaction to that, now I'm not sure if this is possible, Kyle, but whenever I push myself, I have a special ability as a lurk called the Devil's Footsteps.
Uh-huh.
When you push yourself, you can choose one of the following additional benefits. Perform a feat of athletics that verges on the superhuman, or maneuver to confuse your enemies so that they mistakenly attack each other. Now, I'm just going mostly for the confusion part here, but can we say that in navigating my way around the rooftops, I do some sort of maneuver where Mitchum kind of swings around this little tower and makes not enough noise to outright sound an alarm, but enough noise to make the guard go and check that area, giving me kind of a brief window to get onto the fireworks platform.
You could, if the existence of the guard was not a result of your mixed success.
Okay, so then for this round, we'll just make sure Mitchum kind of climbs up that opposite side of the tower where the guard is stationed and is kind of watching from above him.
Okay.
And we might be able to make some moves later, but for now, I'm going to be having to work around him.
All right. So what happens after that?
So Toebean is now mere feet from Rasmus.
Yes.
He casually walks up to him, taps him on the shoulder, and when Rasmus turns around, Toebean hands him an egg.
Aye, the signal.
Rasmus turns, takes the egg. His sapphire eyes widen.
And Toebean says, "Cluck, cluck," and starts walking away.
You hear a bewildered goose? Tis a game.
Now, as Toebean walks away, having handed our target an egg,
It's our calling card.
Is it?
Yeah, we're the KFC.
I got it, Corey.
Thank you.
Chicken coop.
Chickens.
now this is a gala.
Yeah.
So there's going to be decorations, party favors, all
Oh,
of,
yeah.
just no expense spared.
No.
Drunk reveling.
Yes. Well, suddenly, a mound of confetti and balloons springs up from the ground right in front of Rasmus.
Yeah.
What he doesn't know is this is Uwe.
He makes his entrance.
Rasmus springs backwards. Uncle Sheila!
What?
Uwe has infiltrated the party by wearing a ghillie suit, except like most ghillie suits are like leaves and moss.
Yeah.
And, what the fuck? No, this one is confetti and balloons.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe
he's-
a hot dog.
He's just been army crawling.
A used condom.
These people don't.
Mardi Gras
Yeah.
beads.
Right.
There's a couple of birds in there. I don't know why.
Whatever.
I just picture Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator rising out of the mud.
Right.
Yep.
Except it's
That's the worst party filth. Smashed Bud Light can over one part of his face.
He's just a colorful Captain Willard.
It literally looks like someone swept up the floor and it has just risen and become sentient.
Yeah.
So yeah, Uwe has been army crawling in this ghillie suit.
Carnival training for Navy SEALs.
Yeah, it's just looks like confetti and balloons and shit. So
Yeah, just moving.
yeah.
looks like a colorful cousin it.
You just see it scurrying around in the background.
Like a bale of hay.
Yeah, but it's confetti.
It's just an exciting trimmer.
Yeah. but are you still concealed at this point?
Yes.
The audience sees you.
Yeah, there's like
Right.
a cut to the inside, where you see Uwe powering
Yeah.
the ghillie suit.
Gotcha. You just haven't revealed yourself to the guests.
No, it still
okay,
looks like
gotcha.
a bunch of confetti in a pile.
Yeah, it's a Tony Stark vision.
That's what I was thinking.
Except fun.
So right as this fucking pile of things rises into a humanoid form, these Junkanoo-looking parade floats just wander by and give you some more camouflage.
Real quick, Austin, also in the ghillie suit, they're about halfway down this mound of confetti and balloons and party favors. There is one like part that is round and kind of juts out. That's Nathan, my chest twin.
Gross.
So seeing that Uwe is in position, and now that Toebean has given him the egg, obviously that's the signal to put our entire plan into motion.
Clearly, that's the signal.
Well, it's a Fabergé egg.
Oh,
No, it isn't.
expensive hit.
Yeah, for sure. When they see the glistening white egg, that is kill time.
Yeah.
Mitchum is going to snag his grappling hook on the edge of the roof and swing down like a pendulum and knock this guard off of his balcony perch into the fireworks platform below.
Okay.
So that it will look like this guard has just stumbled from his post and smashed the fireworks platform where the ensuing blasts will go everywhere, not just in one specific area.
Into the crowd, even.
Yeah.
Anybody could die.
And will give us enough cover for Uwe to strike.
Yes, because Uwe, as part of his load, has a pistol that is at the ready to fire whenever a firework slams into the crowd.
Yeah. And then, it's just another firework death.
Yeah, happens all the time.
Yep.
All right, Austin, what action are you using for this?
This is too combat focused to be prowl, I'm assuming.
I mean, this is more physicality than combat. You're not necessarily attacking the guard with the intent to knock him out. You're just trying to push his body in a specific direction, right?
Okay, well, I'll happily use prowl in this.
Yeah,
this
I
scenario.
think this is clearly proud.
Okay, and this time I'm definitely going to push myself.
Okay, well, that's good, because otherwise your effect was going to be limited.
Okay.
Because you're trying to push a guard into a stand of fireworks to make them Rube Goldberg into the crowd. Pushing yourself is going to be required to get that at a standard effect.
Well, I've got a little bit of equipment at the ready to make sure that plan goes off correctly.
You have guard kicking into the firework display equipment?
No, but once he falls down into them, I have demolition gear, and I'm going to mold up a little charge and just toss it down into the platform below.
Well, see, I don't see it as about the fireworks going off. It's more of making sure the fireworks go in a specific direction.
Oh, okay. See, I thought I was making it easier by just ensuring that they kind of go everywhere in kind of a wide radius.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a very large party. You need some of them at least to land near where your murder is going to take place.
Gotcha. Okay, well then, yes, I will push myself. So that's 2 more stress.
Do you want a devil's bargain?
How many dice do I get just from pushing myself?
So technically, there are 2 things that pushing yourself can do. You can get an extra die, or you can get increased effect.
Okay, as far as increased effect goes, I will be using my devil's footsteps for that one this time. So I'm fine getting the die.
Yeah, because you have the special ability that it de facto gives you increased effect, you would get the extra die.
Okay. Yeah, let's hear the devil's bargain.
So the devil's bargain would be that you're essentially, you swing down from a higher position, knock this guard off, and your momentum continues, and you swing around and slam into the side of the tower you were swinging from, and you're going to take a light injury, bruised and beaten.
Okay.
And that would go on your sheet under harm
Okay.
in just one of the slots. So basically you'd be at less effect.
Okay.
But that gets you an extra die.
Okay. So then I'm rolling with a total of 4. And there's a 6.
Yeah, so you can narrate what this looks like.
I'm going to use the Devil's Footsteps ability to make sure that this action not only confuses the guard who never sees me coming, but also confuses the men firing off the pyrotechnics, because when they look up and see this guard falling toward them, they just drop their fireworks, and they happen to all drop them facing the crowd. So what happens is Mitchum swings down, and his feet connect with the small of this guard's back right as he turns. It's enough such that before the guard even knows what's happening, he's kind of flipping over the banister of this balcony and kind of plummets toward the smaller building where the fireworks platform is, and just lands in a crashing heap right as we look up and see Mitchum bang off the side of the tower and fall kind of in a heap on the balcony.
Yeah.
But he gets up in time to look over the balcony and go, "Ha! Did it!" Just then, we see all the fireworks kind of blast off in a semicircular form out over the crowd. People start screaming, running everywhere as the fireworks jet into the crowd.
Many are killed. I'm sure. Not just our target.
Yeah, there's a waterfall of pyrotechnics that just descend into this party.
Maybe not killed, but they're burnt to shit.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of minor injuries and a lot of very scorched costume.
It is at this precise moment that only seen by Rasmus, a gun barrel emerges from the pile of confetti just standing in front of him.
Rasmus says, it's just like in my dream.
But I get to keep the egg, right?
And Uwe pulls the trigger of his pistol. The bullet goes through the egg
Oh, no.
and into Rasmus's heart.
All right, so generally hunt is used for precise shooting.
Cool. I have 1 in hunt.
Okay.
I'm going to push myself, though, and take 2 stress.
All right.
Well, damn, that's a 1 and a 2. So I got a 2.
You never figured on Rasmus charging you. Rasmus just football lunges straight at the pile of confetti. Get away from me, Dream Satan! Hits Uwe right in his conjoined chest head, and the two of them go down in a pile. You're going to take the harm 1 winded unless you want to resist this consequence. Now, you can't turn back time. He's not going to get shot. It would just be resisting the consequence of getting injured.
No, I'll get injured.
Okay, winded. And you go down in a pile. It is mass chaos. There's smoke everywhere. Fortunately for you, nobody can really see anything. And he hit you before your gun went off, so there's not a gunshot anywhere. Fireworks are still going off, though. People are screaming. Soldiers are yelling, trying to get some order to this chaos.
For all intents and purposes, if anybody looks in Rasmus's direction, it looks like he's just laying on top of a big pile of confetti, correct?
Yeah, you and Rasmus wrestling around on the ground, no one has noticed it yet because there's too much carnage.
Can I distract him by ripping a hole into the ghillie suit and letting my conjoined chest twin reveal itself?
You could attempt to distract him. There's just so much going on right now. It might take him it might not sink in what he's seeing because he's just in pure fight mode right now.
Okay.
But there, you have other comrades. Though Mitchum is out of position, Toebean is nearby also.
So Toebean sees this happen. He's not terribly far away yet. He started walking away just to avoid explosions.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did, but he's probably a little burnt here and there.
Sure.
But he walks over. Rasmus is on top of Uwe, correct?
Yeah, they're wrestling around.
Okay. Chaos in the crowd. Toebean casually picks up a broken fireworks stick, for lack of a better term. Like
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
the things you stick in the ground at a bottle rocket or what have
Yeah.
you. Yeah, it's been broken. It's sharpened.
Yeah, it's wood.
He walks up behind Rasmus, does another tap, says, "Told you to get clucked," and shoves it through the back of his neck.
Oh, okay. So killing him with shrapnel will make it look like part of the carnage.
Absolutely.
So this sounds to me like skirmish, unless you have something else in mind.
Okay, so the teamwork section on here
Yeah.
has assist a teammate, lead a group action, protect a teammate, and set up a teammate. Basically, what I'm asking is, can Uwe see me coming behind Rasmus, obviously with a stabby look in my eye,
Yeah.
and like attempt to like push him up to help me out here in some way?
Yes.
And what would that fall under?
So you could color it different ways. You could say, hey, this is just an assist. Todd suffers stress, gives you plus 1d. You could say this is a setup. Todd would set up an action, and if that was successful, that would give you plus 1 effect or improved position on yours. Or you could say, hey, this is a group action. We're both working together to make sure this guy's stabbed. You would each roll separately. We'd take the best result. However, for each player that their best result was either a 1 through 3, you would take stress.
Okay. Now, which one affects me the less?
Assist. The simplest way to do it is just say it's an assist.
Okay.
Todd spends 1 stress, you get 1 die.
Okay. I'm down
Okay.
with that.
Thank you.
I mean, although historically group action has really worked when stabbing people, just look at the Manson family.
That's very
Well.
true, Todd. Good point. Corey, you could also still push yourself or get a devil's bargain.
Okay, I have nothing in skirmish, so I'm going to accept Todd's stress, as I typically do.
That gives you 1 die.
Been doing it for 10 years now.
And I will push myself and take 2 stress, which gives me another die, correct?
Yes, you have 2 dice now.
Okay. It's a 4.
So that's a mixed success. The broken bit of firework slams into Rasmus's neck, severs his carotid artery. Bright red blood splashes onto Uwe and Nathan, covering them in gore. But the smoke is clearing, and dozens of uniformed soldiers are sweeping in from the street, picking people up, demanding obedience, trying to figure out what's going on. You have mere moments before you are seen standing over the body of this man that is dead.
Okay.
This is a desperate situation. You each need to get the hell out of here before you're caught.
Okay, I'm going to add another item to my load.
All right. Do you have the space available?
I've only used 1. I've only used fine clothes.
Then you're good.
Okay. I'm going to use subterfuge supplies.
Okay.
So basically, Toebean has been wearing a backpack this whole time.
Yeah.
And he pulls the ripcord on it,
Okay.
and inside is revealed, very tightly compact, a shitload of chicken feathers. And
So there's just this poof.
with a fan that blasts it in the direction away from us
Yeah.
as we walk back towards the river.
So essentially it's fog cloud, but chicken feathers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I will say using that would reduce the position to risky
Okay.
when you make your escape. You
Okay.
still have to roll some sort of action to get away.
Now, are they making a fresh action here, or is this a saving throw because of the difficulty of the...
Oh, this is a fresh action. They did not resist the consequences of...
Okay.
Okay, so Toebean grabs Uwe and puts his arm over his shoulder and starts helping him out of the crowd.
Yeah,
even though
yeah.
he's not really injured.
Sure.
But in case we come across any cops, he's got blood all over him. So Toebean will tell the cops, like, I got to help this man. He got hurt by the boom boom.
Yeah, just to blend into the crowd.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I'm already, I have shed the confetti suit at this point. So, I have my eyes wide shut mask. So I look like I could have been, an attendee.
Yeah, I think this is probably a group action since you're both trying to blend in for sure.
Okay.
Well, let's just make it an all-around one, because seeing the position that they're in, Mitchum is going to use his last action to not only tie up the loose ends he was planning on, but provide another distraction to maybe buy him some more time from the bluecoats that are closing in.
Cool.
So as he swings down from the tower, Mitchum is going to use a third item here, his demolition tools, which actually counts as 2 slots.
To shoot yolk all over.
Well, he just molds up this tiny little wad of plastique, enough where the explosion will pretty much decimate any remains of it, and tosses that onto the fireworks platform where the guard and the fireworks operators are starting to stir. And as he swings down, they just hear this Irishman go, pity about them witnesses. And then the explosion goes off, which really gets lost in the cacophony of fireworks. But
So, Austin, I will say that could definitely work. I will tell you, though, however, that would move this away from an accident to something that was clearly some sort of assassination attempt. Not, they won't know who it was, but they'll know that there was... Right now, it just looks like a total accident, right? Like a complete accident. But if there's like a specific explosion, like from like some sort of military grade, like...
well, I'm not looking for anything that's going to take down the building. I was really just covering up the witness that was kicked off of a balcony in order to kind of cover up any few remaining loose ends that would point toward this not being an accident.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if there's an explosion where after the fireworks have gone from that area, that would be suspicious.
Okay. All right.
Now, if you want to take him out in some other way, maybe he just falls off the roof. Accidents happen.
I can do that. So here's what we'll say. In swinging down, Mitchum actually loops his rope instead of around crenellated wall or the edge of a balcony. He actually loops it around the guard.
Dear
just
God.
as he gets to his feet. And he doesn't need to swing down far, but it's just enough to where he can land on his feet as he pulls this guard off of that little tower. and the other guards will hear him fall.
This guy gets up. I don't know what it was. He's just stuntman yanked off screen.
And as he plummets through the air, he just hears...
And you're rolling prowl, really. I don't know what else this would be.
Prowl or finesse. I'm happy to roll prowl again. And that's going to be 2D.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is prowl.
Okay.
I mean, this is pretty superhuman, what you're trying here. Like, all the calisthenics involved.
Okay. So I can push myself again.
Yeah, I think that's required to do this, because this is pretty an impressive feat.
Okay.
This is not something your average cat burglar could manifest.
Okay. Now, question, Kyle. This is actually not marked down here. Am I limited to using Devil's Footsteps only once, like per session, or is that just any time I push myself?
You can use it whenever you push yourself, so long as there's some sort of physicality involved.
So long as it's relevant, basically.
Yeah, you couldn't use it if you're pushing yourself to study up for the LSATs.
Of course. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so then I'm rolling a total of 3. There's a 6.
Yeah, so you land nimbly just behind the screen of soldiers moving into the open yard. The guard lands a second later with a bone-wrenching crash, and you guys are trying to just incognito your way out of here, right?
Yeah, back to the gondolier waiting for us.
Yeah, I'm hoping the falling guard distracts the other guard's attention enough for them to get away.
All right, so Todd, Court, you guys can make a leader group roll. Who's the leader? I assume that Toebean is the lead on this.
Yes.
Okay.
So you guys just roll. This sounds like sway to me. You're trying to deceive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have a 2 in sway.
I have a 1.
So we're just taking the highest between the two of us, right?
Yeah, whoever gets the single highest die result, and this is a normal roll, so you can push yourself, you can try to get a devil's bargain, et cetera, et cetera. You really can't assist, though, since it's a team move.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to roll my 1.
All right.
I got 2 4s.
I got a 5.
So we take the 5. It's a mixed success. You get out of the party, you get down to the gondolier, and you make a clean getaway. Unfortunately, Toebean is going to take a level 1 harm, pulled muscle, because Uwe was really taking advantage of that helping hand the entire time. You basically fireman carried this son of a bitch the whole way.
And his chest twin.
And his chest twin. But you guys get to your gondolier, and you escape into the darkness of Duskfall.
On the gondolier ride, Uwe says,
My apologies, friends, but Nathan has been cooped up for quite some time and could really use some air.
and he unbuttons his shirt, and you see the head, and it says, "Hey everybody, my name's Nathan. It's really great to be here. I like Doritos and classic cars and telling jokes. You want to hear one? Here's one. Why did the chicken cross the road? To get away from OJ. Ah.
I'd like to kill this thing.
The gondolier hands you a gun.
Hey, Uwe, you ever heard of a Nathanectomy?
I would, but unfortunately it would be fatal for both of us. I am going to need many hands of Uno to get over this night.
So with the score complete, the next phase of Blades of the Dark is called downtime. That's where you get a payoff. You see if there are any entanglements, calculate the heat, and then you do any post-adventure activities, like you could hire gangs or train your skills. And that's pretty involved, so we will get into that next session.
All right. Well, that was pretty awesome. I had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, we're great.
Well, this game, if nothing else, greatly empowers fucking nonsense.
Yes.
And I love it.
Yeah, the first time I played Blades in the Dark, we played assassins. I was an assassin. That was very cool.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of opportunities depending on what faction you choose to make whatever fucking kind of game you want out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've played one where they were smugglers, and it was very Mad Max because they had these souped-up vehicles that were just driving through the wasteland and fighting ghosts and getting on train heists. And
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game kind of rules.
You know who else kind of rules? NorseFoundry.com.
Who?
NorseFoundry.com. It's on the internet, Corey.
I don't want to. It's just some racism on there.
There is a bunch, but not in Norse Foundry. They've got nothing but dice.
Ah, good.
Yep, the official dice of Bastard Quest. They have dice made from all different manner of materials, shapes, and sizes, plus merch. And as you're checking out at NorseFoundry.com, don't forget to enter promo code CHAM, that's CHAM, CHAM, for the Bastard Quest 10% discount at NorseFoundry.com. And we would also like to thank our sponsor, Barrel and Bond, 100 Broadway Street in beautiful downtown Paducah, right there on the banks of the Ohio River.
Why?
Because they have whiskey.
Going.
And as always, thanks to our listeners, thanks to our patrons, thanks to those who engage with us on social media and Discord, and reviews. Don't forget to leave us reviews.
Yeah, or rate us or whatever. If you got time to put your finger down on your phone,
Yeah.
hit some stars or some nuggets or whatever you got on there.
Yeah, whatever they use to rate these days. I don't know. Is it pine cones, jars of feathers?
Eggs.
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 Bastard Quest. I give it 6 eggs.
That sounds very high.
So yeah, I guess we're going to continue to play this for a little while longer.
For a bit, yeah.
It's
I
fun.
like it.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. I'm Kyle.
Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.